Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and peace be with you, brothers and sisters of humanity. I hope all is well. I came across this video. Check it out.
Covering a woman so you don't see any of her. She's not happy with it. I mean, you can brainwash someone.
How do you know what she's happy with and what she's not happy with? And what is happiness? This is no longer an academic discussion. Have you surveyed them? Have you spoke to them? And I got a question for you. Do you think that women who wear typical Western dress code, do you think they're happy? Is there any evidence that wearing that makes them more happy than wearing what these other women are wearing? Do you not think, potentially there's an argument to be made at least, that for women who are not privatizing their ornaments, at least have a sense of insecurity which may be a cause of depression and anxiety? So if you're talking about happiness now, what do you think causes happiness? Do you think it's feminism? So if that is the case, then why is it the case that the longest study that was done from 1970s to 2000, Blanche Flower and Oswald, indicates an increased anxiety and depression of women in the Western world? What you're saying has no backing and has no substance.
It's fascinating to me that men are always speaking for women. What is going on? I feel like we have not come a long way at all. I feel like in such a short period of time, the clock must have gone back 50 years. Two men talking about women. Muslim women are not, they can't be happy wearing that. How the hell do you know? He's right. Muhammad Hijab is right about that. How do you know? I bet you don't have any Muslim friends. Maybe some ex-Muslims, Bilmar. And you too, Muhammad Hijab, although you know a lot of Muslim women, I'm sure, including your wife. I know you're married, mashallah. How do you know how we feel? And what does clothing has to do with anything? The clothing we wear has nothing to do with how we feel. I'm telling you, as a woman, it has nothing to do with what we wear. I don't care if you're naked or if you're fully head to toe covered. It has nothing to do with it. I know because I have been on both sides of the coin. In my younger days, my teenager all the way to late 20s, I have been running around almost half naked, honestly. Yeah, almost half naked. I used to wear short skirts and short dresses and, tank tops, and I was not a hijabi. But guess what? I was happy. I was happy. For the most part, I was happy. And today, I am fully hijabi for the past 10 years, over 10 years. And I'm just as happy as I've always been. It has to do with my personality. It has to do with the things that I like doing. It has to do with working towards reaching my full potential. These are the things that make us happy or not. Truth be told, let's not try to be so defensive. There are plenty of Muslim women, especially young women, who have no choice but to cover it up and don't have any saying in what they wear. Case in point, Iran, as well as many other places, including Somalia, Afghanistan. I am lucky. My kids are lucky. My older daughter decided that she wanted to be a hijabi by the time she was 10 years old. I said, okay, if that's what you want. Are you sure? Yes, mommy. Go for it then. She loves her hijab. All of her friends are hijabis. Her and another friend, they are hijabis by choice. So that's across the board, I think. A lot of Muslim women that are in the West who are hijabis love wearing their hijab. We are happy to wear the hijab when it comes from us, when we decide that it's between us and Allah. I remember my younger days, my mother always telling me, wear a hijab, please cover your hair. I used to have long, beautiful hair. Like when we go to Somali stores and places that are close to masjids, my mother would beg me to cover up since she's with me. Just do it for me. Subhanallah. you're going to shock people. Cover your hair. I used to say no. I'm not going to do it for human beings. When Allah decides that, Fathiya, it's time for you to do it, to cover up, and to be a hijabi, I'm going to do it for Allah. I'm not ready yet. So it's the same everywhere. When Muslim women wear the hijab, young and old, on their own, they are happier. They are happier. But there are plenty of Muslim women, young and old, who are forced to wear the hijab. Let's not always try to be just arguing for the sake of argument. This is the truth. No woman or a girl can walk around the streets of my motherland, Somalia, Somaliland, all the lands where there are Somalis in Africa, without wearing a hijab. At the very least, you will be treated as if you lost your mind, and you might be put away, if not beaten up. And the story is the same in many parts of the Muslim world. There are girls and women who are happy to wear the hijab, and there are girls and women who are not happy to wear the hijab, but are forced to have it on. And I think the same goes for Western women too. Some are happy and some aren't. Because clothing has nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, women all over the world have one thing in common. We want freedom. And I know some people will twist that. The freedom to have boyfriends, the freedom to sleep around, the freedom to do whatever, to drink and do alcohol, and drugs. You know that it's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what makes women happy. And yes, in this case, I can honestly speak for all women. All women. What makes us happy, what makes women happy, is the opportunity to be able to reach our full potential. Our full potential. That's what makes women happy. We have a mind on our own. We know what's good for us. We know what we want, what we like. We are fully capable of making the right choices for us. Fully capable. Happiness is not easy. It really is a very elusive thing. I know plenty of Muslim people who are unhappy. And I know many Westerners, non-Muslim folks who are not happy either, when they look like they should be happy from the outside. It's very when we talk like this, it's dismissing the humanity of women. And then you have this new phenomena, like this person right here. Check it out.
I have already cried 3 times. I wrote a scathing email that I did not send. I ordered dresses online that I couldn't afford. And then when someone asked me how I was, I said, I'm fine, when I wasn't fine. So, how'd I do, ladies? Good? Girl power.
I saw a video the other day of some transgender person saying, we're not trying to take away your womanhood. Oh, yes, you are. You're speaking for us too. You're squeezing yourselves into our woman-only spaces. You're very much trying to replace us. This is men across the board speaking for women as if we don't exist. Hello, we're here. We're here. We can speak for ourselves. So please, stop speaking for us. Stop it. None of you know what it's like to be women. None of you do. And frankly, I am sick and tired. And I know a lot of women are. This debate about clothing, it is dehumanizing. It really is dehumanizing. So next time when you want to talk about women, maybe you ought to invite women into the conversation and stop dividing us into categories and cultures and religions. We have more in common than not. And women, we are in this together. Frankly, we are in a serious trouble nowadays. I know I'm not supposed to say this. Some people are not going to like it. It could even get me in trouble. But there are men today. We have men who are working very, very hard, trying to strip away everything we women have worked so hard for. Now you have Facebook trying to shame women's nipples. Not that I'm advocating for women being naked or getting naked, but Facebook and Instagram saying that non-binaries and transgender women can show their nipples, but cis women, although I hate that word, as if there are other women, cannot show their nipples. Our nipples are banned. But these other people can show their nipples? How is that not discrimination? How is it? How is that not shaming women? Shaming women's bodies. So we're advertising fake nipples and women who don't want to admit that they're women, their nipples are okay. For example, if we want to breastfeed our children, our nipples are taboo. They're not supposed to be seen. But if a non-binary person, aka a woman, wants to breastfeed her child, chest feed, it's okay. The insanity in all of this. How is all of this not war at womanhood? Full out war in womanhood. You have groups who are saying women have to go back to the kitchen and become bare feet and pregnant. Those are the conservative men, whether Muslims or Christians. Yeah, that's what will make them happy. And what they try to tell us is, oh, at least we love your womanhood. We fully love your womanhood. We want you to stay woman. We love you for it. But go back to the kitchen. Make my dinner. Have my children. Not even our children, my children. Submit, be submissive. You hear that word all the time nowadays. And then you have groups who say, women's rights, women's rights. But then they invite these other groups amongst them push them to the front to take away women's rights. And they give them everything by lavishing them, respecting them, and honoring them more than us, real women. And allowing them to access everything that we work so hard for, including squeezing themselves into our women-only spaces. We have no place on our own anymore. If this isn't war on womanhood and on women, I don't know what it is. I don't know what is. I honestly don't know what is. I honestly, truly believe this is a very worrisome time to be a girl, a young woman especially. I mean, the Western world is the only places in the world where women had the opportunity to really fully thrive. And today it may be one of the most dangerous places to be a woman, especially girls. You can't even say you're a woman without being ashamed or being shamed, being labeled. You can't say I'm breastfeeding. You can't say I'm having my period without being labeled. May God help us. May God help us. Women must wake up and smell the coffee because something is seriously happening. Thank you so much for watching.